broke the rules. He went to the above world.
A man was drowning. I had to save him.
This obsession with humans has to stop.
I just want to know more about them.
I'm a huge fan of the animated movie, The Little Mermaid, but I have mixed feelings about the live-action remake that hits theaters this weekend. All of your favorite characters and musical moments return, but the story's been needlessly expanded by nearly an hour. The new cast is pretty good, and some of the visual images are great, although those aren't consistent throughout the whole film. The same holds true for the new musical numbers, which are written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. One is very good, two are pretty forgettable, but the original songs are still some of the most wonderful musical moments in any Disney film, and I immediately start grinning whenever those beloved songs start to play. So it's a mixed bag for The Little Mermaid.
Under the sea, under the sea.
My father's gonna make her look like some kind of Goomba.
Listen, if we're gonna do this, Dad, you gotta dial it down with
With all the what is this?
About My Father is a sweet but a hit-and-miss comedy that really wants to be the next Meet the Parents, right down to the casting of Robert De Niro as a newly engaged guy's boorish father who threatens to ruin his weekend with the new in-laws. This comedy from stand-up comic Sebastian Maniscalco has some fun moments and plenty of family-first heart, but it's a mild comedy at best.
Door covers blood. We'll leave for 15 minutes.
Kandahar is a non-stop action film where Gerard Butler and his translator try to get out of Afghanistan with multiple military groups and terrorist bounty hunters hot on their trail. It's Butler doing what he does best, fighting against impossible odds in this meaty, non-stop war movie thriller.
When I was 22, I got involved with the Russian mafia.
Burt Kreischer and Mark Hamill star in The Machine, in which the shirtless comic spins a fanciful crime comedy tale where Russian mobsters abduct our hero because of his past transgressions. Fans of The Funny Man may know this story from his stand-up routine, and they still might get a kick out of this crazy crime adventure.
He's been lying to me this whole time.
I wasn't lying. I was encouraging.
That's not true. You were lying to be encouraging.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus plays a novelist who overhears her husband admitting that he doesn't like her new book in a funny slice-of-life comedy, You Hurt My Feelings. It's an amusing look at the lies we tell our loved ones. It's a very nice but low-key comedy from acclaimed writer-director Nicole Holofcener.
We have a search warrant for your house.
Oh my goodness, okay.
Sydney Sweeney stars in Reality over on HBO Max in this fascinating, ripped-from-the-headline story of an FBI questioning an NSA agent who was accused of leaking confidential documents to the press. The movie is done using only the real-life transcripts taken from the FBI audio recordings, which gives this film a fascinating look into this reality-is-stranger-than-fiction story. Sydney Sweeney is very good in the title role, although I doubt that her Euphoria fans will know what to make of this movie.
I think you know a lot more than what you're telling us at this point.
And that's what's new this weekend at the movies. I'm Sean McBride, the movie guy.
Alrighty, well, it is Friday. In case you couldn't tell, Sean McBride, the movie guy, is here. Always here on Fridays. We love to have you. Gives us a little rundown of some of the movies that are coming to theaters, streaming. I was saying earlier, I have a hard time believing that this weekend, given that it's going to be such a nice weekend, that people are going to want to be inside or go to the movie theaters. But I think there are some tempting options that might draw some people.
And Monday afternoon is supposed to get a little bit of rain, so maybe it's a Monday go to the movies type thing. And look, it's Memorial Day weekend, which is traditionally the kickoff of the summer movie season. There's usually that one big blockbuster that's coming out, and this year that blockbuster is the live-action remake of Disney's The Little Mermaid.
Oh my gosh, you see it everywhere you go. Every time I open my phone, something about it. And so...
And I gotta tell you, so I was telling you this in the break, that this is actually my favorite of all the Disney animated films. No, it's not because I wanted to be a little princess mermaid when I was a kid. No, when I was in film school, we went to the studio and got to watch the animators make this. I saw a lot of this movie as when there was just line art and not colored or anything like that. It's kind of cool. And I love the music, and I think this is a really good film, you know. So I wish that the new movie could live up to those standards. And you know, to be fair, this is a movie that was never gonna be satisfying for me because I have such nostalgic memories of that first one. But I think it has its moments. It's a mixed bag, to be quite honest. The film is a lot longer. It's almost an hour longer than the original.
Wow.
Because what they've done is they've gone through and fleshed out certain of the characters. Prince Eric, most notably, that a lot of people said, okay, here's this guy that, you know, he's such a big part of the movie, but he doesn't really do anything until the end when he rescues the damsel in distress. And people thought, well, if you're going to do that, give him some more to do. They give him more to do. They give him some new songs. There's 3 new songs in this story, written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. One of the songs is good.
Okay.
The other two are not.
Understood.
But Prince Eric has a ballad, his "I Want" song, you know, which is, like I say, it's kind of forgettable. But that being said, the core 4 songs from this movie are still amazing. "Part of the World," "Kiss the Girl," Poor Unfortunate Souls, and "Under the Sea."
As those are hard to beat.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. I would argue that and The Lion King, the best Disney musical moments ever. So
You're probably right.
when those songs start up, I just start grinning. I love that stuff. I loved Rob Marshall, who's the director of this thing, was able to do some kind of Busby Berkeley, you know, just really good images on this thing. I don't think that holds true throughout. I think this movie is a little dark. They put like a gauze over it so it looks like you're looking through water.
Okay.
I get why you do that. They're trying to be photorealistic, but photorealism under the sea is dark, you know, because sunlight can't get there.
Right.
I want to see the color. I want to see the fun. I do like the performances. I do like the casting. I know that was somewhat controversial for some people. I think Halle Bailey, it's hard to say.
I know, we always get it confused.
I think she's very good channeling the spirit of Ariel. I think Melissa McCarthy is a hoot playing Ursula.
Oh, yeah.
I think all of the characters are pretty good. But like I say, it's kind of a hit and miss movie for me because it just struggles to recapture the magic. And it's 2.5 hours long. And, you know, if you think this is a movie aimed at kids, kids have tiny bladders.
Right.
I mean, I saw lots of moms getting up through this thing.
And tiny attention spans as well, so it might be hard to kind of sit there and watch it. I feel like that's one of those things, though, it's kind of hard whenever it's done so well the first time and so loved to try and redo it or to do live action.
Exactly. So it's hard to live up to the legacy of that first film.
Absolutely. Okay, what you got next?
It's a film called About My Father, which is Sebastian Maniscalco. He is a stand-up comic, and he has a movie where he co-stars with Robert De Niro that really wants you to think that this is the new Meet the Parents movie.
Oh.
It's not. You know, but it's not bad either. I mean, I would say all the movies this week have some interesting things, but they're not really great, quite frankly. He basically, Maniscalco plays a guy, wants to get engaged to his girlfriend, but he is the son of an Italian immigrant, and she is the son of people who can, you know, check their hereditary back to the Mayflower. So it's immigrant blue collar versus waspish stuff here. It's a culture clash. It gets some nice jokes out of that. I would say that they are kind of benign jokes. They don't really go for the jugular ever.
Okay.
And so it's a series where they're making some interesting observations, but nothing that's really ever super funny. It is ultimately, you're going to have themes of the important thing is family, and so it's going to have a little bit of heart. It's got those feel-good moments. I think De Niro is always fun playing the grumpy old man character.
Always.
And some silliness, you know, but it's like I say, it's a mixed bag again. It's funny, it's sweet, it's amusing more than funny, but you know, it's okay. And if you want kind of a more grown-up level comedy, it's probably good for you.
Okay, sounds interesting. I like the Meet the Parents reference, but like you said,
but not quite
another
to that
one
level.
hard to beat that.
Yeah, exactly. So.
One I'm curious about is the one with Sydney Sweeney in it, because this was kind of interesting when I heard you describing it earlier about how they actually used actual transcripts from...
Yeah, it's a Reality Winner is the woman, if you remember, she was an NSA agent, and she leaked classified documents to the press about Russia's involvement in the presidential election and was just hammered. And so this is the FBI agents coming to her home and asking her, okay, what's going on, and trying to get information. And it uses, okay, this is Kandahar, this is the wrong, yeah, there you go. But it uses the FBI agent's actual audio recordings as the transcript. So it's really weird. It's kind of squirrely, and you can tell she is, you know, honestly, she's not sure what's going on. She's a little nervous. And quite frankly, it kind of feels like she's not sure why she did what she did. But quite frankly, the FBI agents are kind of weird too. You know, this famously, they never read her Miranda rights. They take forever to show her the warrant to search her house. It's a weird fly on the wall type of a thing. It's Sydney Sweeney of Euphoria.
Right.
And I think her fans will certainly want to be there. She's showing some good acting chops in this one, but it's not Euphoria by any means. So this one's on HBO, oh, excuse me, not HBO Max, it's Max.
Yes, we got to remember that.
And this is the most notable of the stuff that's streaming, but an interesting film with some good performances.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was just a kind of interesting part to me, that they were actually just reading the transcripts and...
They turned this into a Broadway play called Is This a Room, and did the exact same thing, except they were lip syncing it. and it was a fascinating play as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, so.
Okay. So that one's streaming, and then next, what else
The
do
other
we
ones
have?
are back in theaters. Let's go to Kandahar that we were showing you that video for. This is a Gerard Butler film.
Okay.
I got to see this one. It was a surprise screening. I didn't know what I was going to go see. And I thought, do I want to see this? And I kind of did. It is an action film. He plays a MI6 agent on loan to the CIA. And he's the guy that uploads the software that makes the Iranian nuclear disaster happen. And so when his identity is leaked, the Iranian intelligence wants to get him. But so does the Taliban. And so does ISIS, because they know if they get him, they can ransom him off. So it becomes this guy who's stuck in Afghanistan, being chased by military and terrorist groups. And he's got his translator with him, who is an older guy, but he's kind of the voice of reason, you know. And it's I'm not gonna say it's a buddy film, but I mean, there is an aspect of two guys trying to get 400 miles so they can get to a base where a British C-130 is going to land and
get out
of the
alive,
country.
pretty much, yeah.
It's a non-stop race. Some of it is really exciting. There's a car chase. You know, he's in a truck in the market. I think that's very good. But the one that I really like is he is in the middle of the night. They're driving with night vision and no lights, and then the helicopter comes on them. And the helicopter is also using night vision goggles. And it's a really interesting looking piece of action. And I think it's well done. This is what Gerard Butler does. He, picks up a gun and fights against impossible odds. He is the heir apparent to Liam Neeson. You know,
that's a good
he's
way to put it,
Scottish, except rather than Irish. But I thought it was pretty good, actually.
Okay. And then, is there one more?
There's two more.
Two more, okay.
But the one that, so Bert Kreischer is the stand-up comic who never wears his shirt. You know, I don't know if you've seen his stuff, and he's always mentioned in his routines that when he was in 20, he accidentally got involved with the Russian mafia.
Oh, okay.
And so he uses that as a starting point. The mafia comes and gets him, and him and his father, played by Mark Hamill, get involved in a comic adventure. I'll be honest with you, I did not get the chance to see this one.
Okay.
But I think that if you're a fan of his stand-up comedy, you'll probably be fine. It looks like there he is. It looks like he is just leaning into the boorish snuff. You know, he's that guy that takes off his shirt and on all the TikToks, you know, and stuff, and he's like, oh, don't do this. But, you know, he's a guy that just is having fun and being obnoxious, and I think fans of his stand-up comic will probably like it, but I did not see it, so it could be wrong.
No telling. Okay, so that might be one to kind of watch, like you said, if you know him and are interested in that one. And then the last one
The final one, which is a really good film, and it's Nicole Holofcener. She is a filmmaker who makes kind of quiet movies. Okay. And she's made this dark comedy called You Hurt My Feelings. And it is the story of a woman, and she's a novelist. And she's got a supportive husband, right up to the point where she hears her husband talking about her and saying, you know, I hated my wife's book. I just don't like it. And so that destroys her world. I mean, she's thinking, I've been, betrayed by my husband. And everything spirals out of control from that point on. I like this movie because they are really nice, fleshed out characters. And I don't want to say it's an adult comedy, but it's an adult film in as much as it deals with adult issues. Like, you know, the little white lies we tell our partners to help, you know, grease the social relationship that we have with them. Like I said, I think, you know, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is just so good at playing both the comedy and the drama of, you know, a person who's being, you know, life is just slapping her around a bit there, and she's dealing with it. I think she is very good here. I think the whole cast is very good. I think this is an incredibly well-written comedy, but it's a slight thing. It's kind of a slice of life. There's no, you know, funny bombast here. It is just kind of a, oh yeah, adults will enjoy it. Obviously not something for the kids, but I think that's actually the best movie of the week.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, they sound like all kind of have like good aspects to them here and there.
Yeah,
so
there are no bombs out this week. Honestly, if there is one that I was really disappointed, it's that Little Mermaid. But like I said, that's one that will never live up to to my expectations.
Almost kind of to be expected there. And this kind of kicks off summer season for movies, right?
We get going. I mean, next week we have the new Spider-Man movie. Then the week after we have the Transformers movie. Then the week after that we have the new Pixar movie Elemental. And then at the end of the month we've got Indiana Jones. And then, I mean, it goes. Yeah, exactly.
List goes on and on.
Yep.
Okay, well, we will wait and see you next Friday then to hear some more. Always thanks, Sean, for stopping by, giving us a rundown